Franchise India. Franchise India is a world's largest franchise development company. We are known for franchising in India, but globally we are known for cross-border franchising. While Franchise India by name, it looks like it's just a franchise organization, but we also have another company of ours, which is actually the webinar we're hosting called BusinessX. BusinessX is the leading platform, number one platform in India when you want to sell your business. It's a resale platform where you want to sell your business. You come to this platform, list your business, get it right valued, and then put it in the market. So Franchise India is a 1,200 people company. In India, we run in 97 cities. Internationally, we are under the brand name of Fran Global, run in 9 countries. And and we do 3 things. One, obviously, help people to invest into active businesses. Second, we help companies to scale their business. And third, which is the topic we have today, is finding the new buyers for people who want to sell their business. So friends, this webinar is called Exit Planning. And this is a very sensitive topic because when you are looking to exit your business, it is not just a financial decision, but it's also very emotional. And it is also sometimes very critical decision. So we are going to talk about today why people want to sell the business and what the kind of process you need to follow and how BusinessX can help. But let me start with giving you that I am a strong believer. I've been in business for now over 32 years. I've realized that new age businesses have to have a starting point and they have to end point. Rather, it's become fashionable to say I exited my business at profit and things like that. And sometimes it's very important to identify at what stage you want to really exit your business. And that's something which we're going to talk about today. So what are we going to cover in this webinar? First, why people sell the business, and why sometimes it is very important to decide the stage where you want to really exit your business. Second, what are the exit options? If you want to sell your business, what are the options you have in front? And third, you need to understand what are the larger goals and objectives when you are looking to exit. Then really the most important point comes in, how do you really achieve the right valuation? And I've met so many people and we have done so many transactions. Sometimes you have very unrealistic opinion about the valuation of your business. And we're going to talk about, while it's a short webinar, but I'm going to talk about how you value your business, how you look at the right valuation. Then we get into the other side. You really have to understand what a buyer is looking in when they're buying into a business. Buying an existing business comes with a lot of fear, because you have to appreciate when you're selling your business and somebody is looking to buy your business, it's actually more conscious because you feel that why would somebody sell their own business? And if it is profitable, it is doing well, why would you sell it, right? So they come with a lot of fear and anxiety. And how you really position yourself to the buyers is very, very important. And then we go on to the timing of business sales. And we have seen the cycle, especially in the last 15 years, the businesses which were at a one point in time had a great value, but not so valued at a certain time, right? And this was also seen in the startup world. We've seen businesses going to multi-billion-dollar valuation and suddenly dropping to a very, very small valuation. So it is always about timing, how you time the resale of your business. And finally, I'll talk about what BusinessX can do if you are looking to, sell your business. So Ujjwal, if you can just put the website for everyone to go through, it's called businessx.com. And friends, there is a Q&A box. There is a Q&A box on the bottom. You click that and you can ask as many questions you have for this webinar. This is a short webinar, about 40 odd minutes, but I will be making it more interactive. So, and also a little bit about me, because I've been in franchising and business resale for 27 years. And we're very proud that nobody has sold more businesses than us globally. So we work with all kinds of companies. We work with startups. We work with mid-sized businesses. We work with family businesses, legacy businesses, and large corporate and multinational. And we are the most specialized company when it comes to privately held businesses, which are ranging from a valuation of, say, 30, 40 lakh rupees to 100 crores. That is a space which we really champion. And it can be manufacturing, it can be trading, it can be services, any kind of businesses. But why really people want to sell the business? One of the clear reasons is there is a financial pressure, which means that business is not doing well. And if your business is not doing well, you need to decide quickly. Sometimes people prolong it with the imagination that they probably would be able to improve the business, turn around the business, and doesn't happen. And then you put a lot of good money behind something which is not working for you. And you have to make that decision. And this is very tough. And especially if you build something, it's extremely, extremely tough for you to decide that this is not working out for you. And even if you sell it for a haircut, you sell it for a much lower valuation, exiting out of the business would give you new life. That's very, very important. Sometimes people over delay it. They don't come with the terms that the business is not doing well. I've seen a lot of entrepreneurs who actually have a big setback in life because they continue to pursue something which is not working for them. So ask yourself, is the business doing well for you or not doing well? And if it is not doing well, do you think in an immediate period you will be able to turn around that business? If the answer is no, then you need to find the right buyer before you absolutely erode the value of the entire business. Second, which I like actually, is to sell business for profit. Actually, young, smart entrepreneurs understand this very well. They understand that when you build a business which is creating great value, it's great time to really see an exit out of that business and make it profit. And I think the serial entrepreneurs know it very well. If you capitalize on something which you build, it gives you an opportunity to do more creative things in future. So ask yourself, if you have built something, like I know a lot of people who bought a franchise from us, made it very, very successful, went into the market and sold that business to somebody else. Rather, I worked with somebody in Bombay who bought one franchise for me. And over the 5 years, he bought multiple franchises and built a big portfolio. And then he sold the entire portfolio to an NRI family at a very strong profit. So ask yourself, if your business is profitable, then you might consider selling that business and doing something else in your life. A third also, which is very important, sometimes you're fatigued on what you're doing, right? You're not enjoying that because you've brought the business to a certain level. And this happens when you have inherited something. You inherited a business which your father or grandfather used to run, and you are a custodian. You took it that business to next level, but you're not enjoying yourself, and you want to do something else in your life, and that's time you want to sell the business. Another reason is succession. You don't have somebody in your family who would look after business, and this is happening more and more now. This is happening so much around us. We just onboarded one of the businesses, which is a hospital, where the children are not pursuing medical. And so they don't want to see that business would continue. And rather than giving to professionals to run that business, they want to exit that business. Another area which is very important is that you have a lot of debt on the business. While you're servicing the debt, but you have always risk that it might get into some form of liquidation, right? I know a lot of businesses which went into NCLT or were taken over by banks. They over delayed that decision because they were not able to service debt. So if you are sitting on some form of pressure on your business, even if you don't want to sell the business, reducing your debt by bringing in a partner is also a great idea. It's always a great idea to convert your debt into an equity. Very, very important. And then there can be another reasons. It can be a partner split. Partners don't want to work with each other, and many other things happen in your business. Change of location can be another reason. You're not able to manage the business because you are doing it remotely. You're not able to manage that. Many, many reasons can be done. You need to ask yourself, is any of these reasons happening with you? Maybe this is a time where you start considering that you want to exit that business. Then we come down to what is the option. If you really decide that I want to really sell the business, you have only three options. One option is you completely sell out, which means that you sell either the complete business with the company, or you just sell the business and keep the company, because a lot of people sometimes don't want to buy the company because it comes with other liabilities, legacy issues, and so on and so forth, or you have other assets in that company. You want to just sell the business, or you would sell the complete company. Depending on that, but it's a complete takeover of the business. The second is, which I do a lot, which means if you have a liability in the business, how can we shift that liability and make it into an equity? Which means that we bring in a partner who brings in enough money so that you are able to reduce your liability. This is something which we do both between India and GCC. We're doing a lot of work in GCC also. Rather, we just completed a transaction for a large retailer where we reduced their debt, and we brought in a significant investor who brought two forms of one. They bought in equity, and they also brought in fresh loans to business. And there's no debt available in the business now, so it's quite healthy. And you can grow the business to a certain level and then subsequently look at a further exit on the business. Third option is also you want an operational partner. You challenge is not the capital, but you feel that you're not able to manage that business, or you need somebody to be part of the management structure. Then you need bring an operational partner, but always be very careful. You need to bring in a partner who has also some skin in the business. I don't believe that you just bring in somebody who has a sweat equity and run the business. If they don't show commitment, it would never work. So it means that even if they bite small equity in the business and take some operational responsibility to run the business, it still makes sense. So ask yourself, what would be the bigger need for you? It would be a complete sellout, it would be a partial sellout, or you need an operational partner to come in. Once you have decided that, then you need to really understand what stage your business is. Is your business a performing asset or a non-performing asset? And because this would define who really we want to target. Because if it is a performing asset, the investor is most likely is going to be a financial investor, not so much strategic investor. I would say 80-20 rule. 80% would be 100% financial investor who would like to invest into business which is already performing. We can discount the EBITDA and we can get to the valuation of the business. If it is a non-performing asset, and that's where it becomes tricky, and that's where Ujjwal and team really have to diagnose the business in deep sense, because non-performing assets are critical. We need to diagnose who is there to turn around this business. How would eventually we will be able to turn around? And most of the answers comes in the strategic buyer. The strategic buyer who has that advantage which you might lack today to turn around that asset to entirely. And most of the time, 60% of all our assets who come to us are actually non-performing. They have financially not performing. And we're very proud that we were able to really find the right buyers. But most of the time, the buyers were always strategic. You need to also define what is the real goal for you when you want to get into exiting the business. It's very important to define the goal. To me, the fundamental goal or the foundational goal is financial freedom or reducing your liability. This is the only two important aspects which I call the fundamental goals. The goal is that you want financial freedom. You want to really, people keep running the same business over the years. They're not able to unlock all the things which they thought to really have in their life, and through the business they build, they're not able to get it because they don't get that financial freedom. So I have found that people who really enjoy what they wanted to achieve out of the business was only able to do when they were able to unlock the value, either through selling the business or through an IPO, where they were able to unlock that value of the business. So financial freedom is one part, and also limiting your liability. Liability is not good. It puts too much of stress on entrepreneurs. They work hard all the day and they don't sleep well because they feel that there is something which is sitting on their head, because this liability, especially if it is a banking liability or a soft loans, it is a big pressure on every entrepreneur. Then another goal can be an operational freedom. So you're too involved in your business, you have no time for your own life, and you want that freedom to also come in. And third is also maybe a value-based goal. So you want to really pass what you build or your father has built to somebody who also takes care of your brand and the values it comes from. So between these three goals, one has to understand who can be the right buyer and how we can really go to the market. And once we have decided that, then we need to really understand what is the right timing for the opportunity, for the selling of the business. The second thing also, which we need to also understand deep down, is how do we make the asset today, which is what stage it is, more attractive over the months, so that we are able to get the right value. Sometimes when you're running a business, you never look at making the asset more attractive. And I'll talk about a little more that, how you really do that. Then we also have to work with you to define who can be the right strategic groups, who can be the right buyer for you. And that's something which is extremely, extremely important. Once we have understood and diagnosed your business, we will understand what is your strategic or competitive advantages of your business. Like, for example, I'm managing an asset out of UAE, and it's a packaging asset, right? It's a packaging company, paper bags they make, and we are selling that business. And I met the entrepreneur, and I asked him, "This is nothing great about the business. You can just have a replacement value. I can put the same kind of equipment, produce that entire thing. Okay, you have contracts with some companies like Amazon and likes of them, but that's not very big because it's still a commodity business. It's still a general packaging business." And then he came back to me and says, "Look, most of the packaging was going from India to US and Europe. and they have put into anti-dumping. So Indian manufacturers cannot directly supply to US and Europe, but if they use my facilities in UAE to the same buyers they were servicing, it can become very attractive. So sometimes there is a very strong strategic and unlock value sitting in the business, which we need to understand. And if we are able to understand, and that most of the times comes from the entrepreneur himself, that they are able to tell us what is the right structure. Now let's get into the valuation. And valuation is where the real difference comes in. And a lot of times, business owners come to us with very unrealistic valuation, and they compare that with growth capital. So look, I'll try to explain. If you're raising money to move the business from where you are to the next level, and you're seeking growth capital, your valuations are very different because you are discounting what is going to be the next 5 years logically. So which means that you're telling somebody, you come at this value, and I'll take the business at 5 years from now at a certain different level. So there is valuation is very, very high. But when you are exiting the business, you are passing the baton today. So there's no future. The future, if it holds with the new buyer, and the risk also is the new buyer. So the valuation would not be the same. So one has to understand what is the core value which you're sitting in. And I have a principle over the years, I've used that principle called SAS principle, SAS. So S stands for strategic value. What is the strategic value in your business? Then A stands for the assets, both tangible and intangible assets. And the S stands for subscriber value, which means the customer base you have. And that also would mean that how, like, for example, if you have two companies, one company had two main buyers, and they were just supplying to them. And the second company had 100 suppliers, 100 buyers, a very fragmented, very large buyer base. Who would you value more? I will value this more because it has lesser risk. This has only two buyers, and if they don't stop buying from you, you're out of business. So one has to always look at from the eyes of investor. And we also have to understand what is the valuation cycles. Where is your industry at this stage? What is happening in your industry? Is there a lot consolidation going on? Because the best valuations you get when the industries are passing through a huge consolidation, people are buying different businesses. So that is very, very important to really look at. Another thing which you need to do is at what stage your business is, how stable your business is, how stable your team is, what kind of operating structures you have in your system, and how effective your cash flow is today. Are you overstretched? Is your cash flows well defined? How solid and diversified consumer base you have? What is the life of your customer base? How they're buying from you? Like Jewel is trying to do a company which is a bottling company, and they have strong buyer groups which continue to buy for many years with them. So that gives a big comfort because you have that relationship which has been grown over the time. And the most important thing now it really is that what is the future holding? How realistic is the growth which we can demonstrate to the new buyer? You might have reached to a certain level, and you are running maybe an optimum level. So, for example, if we're selling a hotel, if the hotel is at a 40%, 50% occupancy level, and I can demonstrate that this would go to maybe 80, 90%, then it is a good case. But how do we demonstrate that how stable and realistic your growth has been? Another area which I'm a big fan is how effective your financial controls are. Sometimes the businesses are good, but they're financially mismanaged and they're very mess up in the entire thing. So ease of taking over the business is one of the reasons why people buy a new business, right? If they feel that their discomfort in terms of operationally manage that business, it becomes a very big problem. So 5 things which I believe every buyer looks at when they get into the business. First is they look at the future over past. When we sit in meetings, the sellers would start talking about how they started, what was the journey, how much hard work they did, how much marketing they did to build what they built. Has no meaning to the new buyer, really speaking. What was past is your past. You did whatever needs to be done. The buyer is looking for what it can do with that business over next 5-10 years. So show the future, not the past. How we can demonstrate the future to a buyer, that's more important to me than the past. Second thing, which is extremely important, and this is my own personal experience. I was one of my companies were being taken over by a large multinational, and the CEO met with me for a dinner, a casual dinner. And after that, he said, I cannot take your business over because it's too much in around you. And if I am able to take the business and not you coming with that business, this would not be the same. So it was so dependent on me that he said, I cannot take over a business. And we were not able to do the deal. So sometimes the founder or the entrepreneur is so involved in the business that the business, it becomes itself a liability. So if you can replace yourself or make yourself redundant in your own business, your business is more valuable. Which means that if I can take over the business and the entrepreneur is not required, no more, it's run by independent professionals, the business is much more valuable. So how do you replace the founder is very, very important. The third point is predictability. How you will bring in predictability to your business model. Fourth, is there an unlock value which you have? Like, for example, there was a big acquisition done by Imami a long time back in Bombay. They acquired Jhandu, which is another FMCG company. And that time, almost everybody said the valuation looked unrealistic. They acquired 700 crores that time for acquiring Jhandu. But people didn't understand where Jhandu was, old plant was there, was in Lower Parel. And that Lower Parel land itself was 1,000 crore piece. So Jhandu came free because the unlock value was that real estate which was coming in. So is there an unlock value in your business, which is very, very important? Fifth, is there a recurring revenue which I can predict in my balance sheet? If I can show that next 5 years, this revenue would continue to come. Say you're a supplier to railways, you're a supplier to NHAI, and you continue to supply and you have contracts which would run that level. It's very, very important to understand. So now we come down to the timing, because it's equally important for you do the right valuation, but what is the timing you want to do that? I believe this is a whole S-curve situation. So when you start moving up, that is a time the valuation is the best. If you're declining as a business, your valuation is very, very poor. So you need to understand that which curve you are up. So if you are in the up cover, which means the last quarter to this quarter or last year to this year, your revenues are moving up and you think that will continue to move up for next 2-3 years, and you can predict that, that is the time you get the maximum value. But you have to also ask yourself, what is the stage you are in? Sometimes you're peaked out. Last 3 years, you not moved a needle, which means that wherever you are, you're just doing the same. Maybe you need more capital. Maybe you need new equipments, new machinery. Something has to be infused in your business to go from this to this level. That is the time you need to really find a buyer. Second, you want to really use as an opportunist way. This is a time where you want to really get out because you feel that the market is becoming crowded. Like when this whole modern retail started, I was part of many acquisitions because companies which became large were looking at inorganic growth. And some of the businesses were not able to sell that because they were too attached to their businesses and they never sell and they had no existence now. So you need to be really a little opportunist. You need to find out what is the timing where people are buying and you are able to sell that business. Another thing which is happening around us, sometimes your competition becomes too big and you cannot fight the elephant. You need to do that. I know a lot of e-commerce companies which came in and they all wanted to build another Amazon and another Flipkart or another Myntra or likes of them. None of them, only a few who sold to them got some right exit. Otherwise, all the other ones had to shut shop and they were complete erosion. So if you feel that your category, somebody is becoming too big, it's best to collaborate and rather than compete. So you need to be also very clear about the outcomes you want. And this is something which Ujjwal and team really spend a lot of time. We define two things for our sellers. We tell them, give us must-have valuation. So when we do the valuation, we come down to must-have, which means that this is lower than this, you will not take. But this is your must-have. This is something which you feel is the minimum valuation you can need for your business. And second is nice to have. And so we create that bracket. And we create that bracket between this framework, and anywhere in between, we are able to achieve the right partnership. And friends, so exit planning is a process, and process is from really understanding your business, understanding what is the right exit option. Third, getting on to defining what should be the right timing for us and how we can improve the valuation of the business. Fourth, we need to do the right financial structuring and defining your organization so it looks easy for somebody to take over. Fifth, to achieve the right valuation, we call the information memorandum, to really achieve that, and you buy into that valuation. Shortlist the right prospects who have that interest in a category like yours and who can be that, and then series of negotiation before we are able to bring a term sheet on this. So this is how we work. We have a full valuation team in house, and we have full transactional team in house. So friends, this is a short webinar. As I said, I wanted to talk about this importance of exit planning. And if you're looking to exit, you need to get in touch with, or Ram would get in touch with all of you and then organize your first round meeting with Ujjwal. And then I'm all the time available with some of the serious cases. I will come on a call myself, and we will sign the non-disclosure agreement to keep your confidentiality, so that whatever you're sharing with us remains only with us. And if we feel we can do justice to your project, which means that we are confident that we are able to find the right buyer for you, then we will take the project. You should appreciate that Franchise India has sold more businesses than anybody else. We have the largest business buyer database. We do 200 plus shows every single year and run the largest ecosystem for people who are looking to invest into running and existing businesses. And so reach out to Ujjwal if you want to put your direct number also. If somebody wants to directly talk to you, it will be interesting. So you can all note down the number with Ujjwal. He's available on 8588155850. It is a direct number. You can send him obviously a little profile because he's a very senior member of our team. So if you send a little profile to him about what you do or your business, then we will obviously understand your business, get on to a no obligation call, sign a non-disclosure, understand your numbers, and then if we feel that we can do justice to your business, then we'll take a project. We are very particular, particularly in Business X. We take limited projects because it takes a lot of senior management time, because every transaction, it might be small or big, has own complexities. And we work on projects very deep down, and then only we were able to find the right buyer group. And there's a lot going on. I think the year of 24 would be a year of M&A. A lot of merger and acquisitions would happen. A lot of listed companies are looking to acquire businesses which are meaningful because they also have pressure on their growth. So it's a good timing to start considering that it might be right timing for you to get onto or sell your business. But I know it's a very important decision. It has to be done with all the care and all the consciousness in terms of how you really go out and do that. And it's also very tough because when you're selling your business, you don't want to even tell anyone within your organization, anyone even around you, your competition, your lenders, your suppliers. You don't want to tell anyone because it's a very, very important, but it has to be done at the right timing. Otherwise, you lose on not able to act at the time. So thank you very much. Enjoy your Sunday, and thank you very much for joining on Sunday morning webinar. And if you need more information about Business X, Ujjwal and team can be sharing with you. Thank you very much, and have a great day ahead. Thank you.